Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm really excited for our deep dive today because we're going to be exploring how the Baha'i Faith, a world religion founded back in the 1800s by Baha'u'llah, how it approaches this massive topic of social change.
It's a big one, for sure.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that we usually think of like huge institutions, right? Like calling the shots when it comes to social change. But what we're going to look at today flips that whole idea on its head.
Yeah, you got it.
So we're all about grassroots social action today.
Exactly. And we've got this excerpt from a longer text kind of guiding us along.
Perfect. I love that.
It's all about, well, the idea that real lasting change, it comes from the ground up, from communities themselves, not from waiting around for someone else to come in and fix everything.
That's so interesting. So instead of putting all our hope in big organizations or governments, it's like you and me.
Everyday people.
Yeah, everyday people leading the charge.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
And the source material really emphasizes this point.
Oh, tell me more.
It's less about throwing money at a problem and a lot more about, igniting the potential that's already inside each and every one of us.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so what we're talking about here is this idea of inherent nobility, right? I feel like that's a core belief within the Baha'i Faith.
You're spot on.
That everyone has this amazing capacity for good.
Right, for greatness.
Regardless of like where they come from or their background.
Yeah, and it's not just, some feel-good thing.
Right. It's deeper.
It's a true conviction that each person has this incredible capacity just waiting to be unleashed.
Untapped potential. I love that.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not just like handing out resources, right?
Yeah.
But it's about actually waking up that potential within people.
Yeah, powerful stuff.
Yeah, super powerful. I was thinking, it's like, that feeling when you surprise yourself? Like you accomplish something you really didn't think you could do?
No, yeah.
It's kind of like that, but on a community-wide scale.
I like that. That's a great way to put it, yeah.
We're all capable of so much more than we realize, right?
And that's exactly it. Recognizing that power in each person and then fostering the right environment, the right conditions where they can actually use that power to make their community better.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, I was looking through the source and it mentioned this whole idea of individual progress being super connected to the progress of the whole community.
Oh, for sure. Super important.
It's not about just going it alone, right? Like being a lone wolf.
No. Not at all.
We're talking teamwork here.
All about working together.
Yeah, exactly.
There's this great quote, actually, from Shoghi Effendi. He was the leader of the Baha'i Faith for a long time. And he said that individual progress and the community's progress, they're interdependent and indivisible.
Wow. So
powerful. Both sides of the same coin, really.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so this isn't just some theory, right?
No.
It's how Baha'i communities actually function all over the world. So paint me a picture. What does this look like in real life? Give me some examples so everyone listening can really grasp this idea.
Okay, think about it like this. Literacy classes.
Yeah.
Imagine those others, but run by people from within the community.
Oh, I like that.
Or youth programs that actually give young people a chance to share what they think, a voice.
Yes, giving them agency.
Or study circles, yeah, where folks from all different walks of life come together to learn, to grow.
It's about bringing people together.
Exactly. And these are just some of the ways the Baha'i Faith encourages community-building activities.
That makes so much sense. It's not just about putting a Band-Aid on a problem. It's about really building up the community itself.
To be stronger.
Yeah, so it can handle challenges, whatever those might be, as they come up.
You got it. And a super important part of that capacity building, it's this process called consultation. It's really vital to how Baha'is make decisions.
In every part of life.
You got it. Including, this whole area of social action.
Okay, wait, hold on. Consultation. Are we talking about going to see a doctor here?
No, not that kind of consultation.
All right, good. Just checking.
So, in the Baha'i Faith, consultation, it means making decisions together as a group.
So everyone gets a say.
Everyone gets a chance to share their thoughts, be heard, even if they have different opinions from others.
So it's not just about, majority rules, right, where the loudest voice wins.
No, it's much more than that.
So how does that actually work? If everyone's got an opinion, how do you move forward?
Well, there's this specific way Baha'i consultation is done. It emphasizes respect, unity, and finding solutions that are good for everyone, for the whole community.
That's so interesting.
It's not about just pushing your own agenda, It's more about striving for consensus through thoughtful discussion and prayerful reflection.
It sounds like a really different way of approaching decision-making, especially compared to how things usually work, where it's all about who has the most power.
Yeah, it's a different approach for sure.
But I can see how this emphasis on hearing everyone's voice, it could lead to people feeling a stronger sense of ownership, like their input really matters.
That's the key. It's about building that ownership, that investment in whatever the outcome is.
I love that, yeah.
So this leads us to a great example of how this all plays out in action.
Okay, hit me with it.
The Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This is all about teenagers, right? The kind of in-between age, like 11 to 15.
That's the one.
Those are some big years, when you're figuring out who you are, what you believe in.
Crucial time, for sure.
It can be a real roller coaster.
And instead of, just trying to get kids through those years, this program wants to empower them.
To thrive.
To actually thrive, yeah. To develop their spiritual side, their intellectual side, and even contribute to their communities.
Now, I'm picturing a lot of our listeners out there, they either have kids that age or they remember being that age themselves.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how does this program actually help them navigate all of that?
Well, it's built around these study circles where they explore all sorts of themes, like service, justice, the idea that we're all interconnected.
Wow, so important.
So it helps them develop a really strong moral compass, a sense of purpose,
It's not just sitting in a classroom, right?
Mm.
What does this empowerment look like when you see it happening?
Okay, so the program encourages the participants to really apply what they're learning.
Oh, I like that.
To do it through acts of service in their communities.
Put it into practice.
Exactly. This could be anything, from cleaning up a park in their neighborhood to visiting older folks, to raising awareness about social issues that matter to them.
Wow, that's awesome.
So they're not just talking about change.
They're doing it.
Yeah, they're out there making it happen. It's about, raising a generation of young people who aren't just aware of the world's problems,
but equipped to do something about them.
Exactly. And the best part is, it's not limited to just this one program.
Oh, tell me more. What else is out there?
The Baha'i Faith. It's inspired tons of social and economic initiatives all over the world.
Okay, let's dive into some of those examples.
I'm happy to.
I'm so curious to see how all of these amazing Baha'i principles, how they turn into action, on a global scale.
That's what we'll explore next. So we talked about the Junior Youth Program.
It's a great one.
Yeah, it is.
I love the focus on that age group.
Yeah, it's so important.
But let's zoom out a little,
Yeah, let's see this whole grassroots thing, how it plays out in other areas too.
Love it.
Our source material, it mentions projects happening everywhere.
Really? Like all over?
Yeah, like from little villages to big cities all around the world.
That's amazing. So these aren't just like little side projects, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
We're talking about initiatives that are really making a difference in people's lives.
Absolutely. Like take education, for example.
Okay, education.
Huge emphasis in the Baha'i Faith on education.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like a tool,
Yeah.
A tool for social transformation.
Oh, interesting. So not just education in the traditional sense.
Right. Not just about going to school and getting good grades.
Right. There's got to be more to it.
Yeah. Literacy is important, sure, but there's also this focus on moral education.
Okay. Moral education.
It's about cultivating virtues,
Yeah.
like honesty, compassion, learning how to serve others.
So it's not just about getting a good job and making lots of money.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's about being a good person.
Exactly. It's about developing well-rounded people.
We can contribute to the world.
Exactly. Who are intellectually capable, yes,
Right.
but also morally upright,
And want to make things better.
eager to make a positive difference.
I love that. It all ties back to that idea of inherent nobility we were talking about, right?
It does. The Baha'i teachings see education as this process, like we're nurturing those noble qualities.
That are already there inside each person.
Yeah, exactly. Like a gardener, helping those good qualities blossom.
Wow, that's a beautiful way to think about it.
That's pretty powerful.
I'm realizing that this approach to education, it really goes hand in hand with all this emphasis on consultation and community building we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's like creating this society where people are capable,
And motivated.
yes, to work together for the good of everyone.
They're getting it. That's exactly it. And it's not just in the classroom.
Oh, tell me more. Where else does this play out?
So the source talks about Baha'i-inspired initiatives, addressing stuff like healthcare and agriculture.
Okay, practical stuff, real-world issues.
Real-world solutions.
I like it. Give me some specifics.
So picture this. There are some communities, they have programs that train people
Okay.
to provide basic health care.
Like locally.
Yeah, right there in their community, which is huge in places where you might not have, easy access to doctors and hospitals.
Makes sense? Yeah.
And in other places, you have projects focused on agriculture.
Food. Gotta have food.
It's essential.
So how does that work?
Because they teach farmers, like, sustainable methods.
To help them grow more food.
Exactly. Improve their yields.
But also protect the environment.
Yeah. Got to think long term.
Sustainability. It's so important.
Huge. So it's all about figuring out what each community needs.
Right. Tailoring the solutions to their specific situation.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
And what I find really inspiring is that it's not just about solving the immediate problem.
It's deeper than that?
It's about empowering these communities, giving them the tools to be self-sufficient in the long run.
That's the ultimate goal. Earlier we were talking about how service is more than just checking things off a list.
Right.
In the Baha'i Faith, service to humanity, it goes hand in hand with serving God.
Oh, yeah. There's that spiritual dimension we were talking about.
And there's this beautiful teaching. It's from Baha'u'llah himself.
Wow, the founder of the faith.
Yeah, he said, service to humanity is service to God.
So powerful.
It's not about doing good deeds to get something in return.
Yeah. Right. It's not transactional.
It's about recognizing how interconnected we all are, how we're all part of this one big family.
I love that.
And it's about expressing our love for God through how we treat each other.
Through our actions.
Actions speak louder than words.
So it's not about like, I did my good deed for the day, check, I'm done.
It's about cultivating the right attitude.
A spirit of service.
Approaching service with joy, with humility.
Not getting too attached to the outcome.
Yeah, trusting that even the smallest acts of kindness, they matter.
Okay, that reminds me of something we touched upon before.
Oh, what's that?
This whole idea of unity and diversity.
Ah, yes, unity and diversity.
I know it's a phrase you hear a lot, but how does it actually play out, in the real world?
It's a great question because it can seem like a paradox, right?
Totally. Like, how can we be unified and diverse at the same time?
But in the Baha'i view, these two things, they're not opposites.
They actually complement each other.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity, right?
That we're all connected.
But at the same time, celebrating what makes each of us unique,
The beauty of our differences.
The different cultures, backgrounds, perspectives, it all enriches the tapestry of humanity.
So it's not just about tolerating differences, right? It's about actually embracing them and seeing them as a strength.
Exactly. It's about seeing the value in those differences, how they make us stronger as a whole.
Now, how does that principle, unity and diversity, show up in Baha'i social action projects?
You'll see it all over. Like, you'll have people from all walks of life.
Okay.
Different backgrounds, religions, ethnicities, working side by side.
Towards a shared goal.
You got it, a common purpose. It's really beautiful to see.
That's incredible, especially in a world that feels so divided so often.
Yeah, it's a powerful example,
It's like they're putting this idea of unity and diversity into action.
Showing that it's not just some, idealistic dream.
It's something real, something we can live and experience right now.
And it's not just about bringing people together from diverse backgrounds.
Okay, there's more.
The Baha'i Faith encourages communities to be innovative.
When it comes to social change.
It's not about following a rigid set of rules. It's about being adaptable.
So no cookie-cutter solutions.
Exactly. The source mentions some cool examples of this grassroots innovation.
Oh, tell me more. I love these real-world examples.
All right, so imagine a community facing, food shortages.
Okay, the big problem.
And they come up with this sustainable gardening project right there in their community.
Well, that's so practical.
Or another community, they're struggling with waste,
Much garbage.
Yeah, and they come up with a waste reduction program specifically designed for their local situation.
So it's about finding what works best in each unique context.
I got it.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to force a solution from the outside.
I love that. It's about empowering communities to find their own answers.
That's what it's all about. Ownership, empowerment.
This is really starting to paint a picture for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like how the Baha'i Faith approaches social change.
What do you see?
Well, it's about empowering individuals, building strong communities, fostering that spirit of service and collaboration, all while staying grounded in these beautiful spiritual principles.
All connected.
Yeah, unity, justice, the belief in the inherent goodness of every person.
That's a beautiful way to sum it up.
Yeah.
It's a holistic approach, recognizing that we're all interconnected.
And that we can create a better world together.
And that's the key, right? Working together, collectively.
It's powerful stuff, but we got to remember this isn't about quick fixes, right?
That's so important to remember.
It's about the long game.
Tell me more. What are you thinking?
So we were talking about quick fixes
Ah, right.
and how the Baha'i approach to social change, it's not about that instant gratification.
Exactly. It's more about, thinking long term.
Yeah, playing the long game.
And I think a lot of us can relate to wanting to see results right away,
Totally. We're all impatient sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. But the Baha'i writings, they often use this analogy. It's like growing a garden.
Oh, I like that.
You can't just plant a seed and boom, expect a flower the next day.
It takes time.
Time, patience, consistent effort.
And there are going to be challenges along the way.
Setbacks, times when it feels like nothing's happening.
Like you're not making any progress.
Yeah, and it's easy to get discouraged,
Totally.
But if we think of it like gardening, it reminds us that change, it's a process, it unfolds gradually.
Okay, I'm really liking this analogy.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in wanting to see results right now, but thinking of it as tending a garden, it shifts your perspective.
Exactly. And just like a garden needs care, attention.
Water, sunlight.
Social transformation needs that ongoing effort, that commitment.
So it's not about doing one big thing and then being done.
Nope, it's a way of life.
It's about creating a culture of service, learning, always striving to improve.
And this is where individual initiative comes in.
Ah, yes. That idea that each of us can make a difference.
You don't have to wait for permission,
Just get started.
You can start making a difference right now, wherever you are, with whatever you have.
Now, I bet some of our listeners are thinking like, okay, but what can I do?
It's a common feeling.
Just one person. Can I really make a difference? It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Absolutely, especially with all the problems in the world.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like too much.
But the Baha'i teachings, they offer this really hopeful perspective.
I'm listening.
They say that every act of service, no matter how small,
It matters.
it matters. It has this potential to create a ripple effect.
Like throwing a pebble into a pond.
Exactly. It starts small,
But the ripples spread out.
touching every part of the pond.
I love that image.
And it reminds us that our actions, even the ones that seem tiny, insignificant,
They can have a big impact.
a far-reaching impact,
And when we join forces with others who are working towards the same goals,
people who share that vision.
yeah, it becomes even more powerful.
It's like this collective force for change that can't be stopped.
Now, do you remember that example we talked about earlier?
Which one? Remind me.
The young people who cleaned up that neglected park.
Oh, yeah. Those kids,
They didn't wait for someone else to fix it.
they took action.
Their actions, plus the support they got from their community,
Yeah, the way everyone came together.
it led to a real transformation.
It's amazing what can happen when people work together.
And it all started with that small act of service.
That sparked something bigger.
It's inspiring.
It is. It shows us that we can all be part of the solution.
We're not powerless.
No, not at all.
We have the power to make a difference.
Every single one of us.
As we wrap up our deep dive today,
I'm glad we had this conversation.
me too. I'm feeling really hopeful,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
It's great to hear.
It's so easy to get bogged down in all the negativity, the bad news out there.
It's everywhere these days.
But the Baha'i approach, it offers a different way of looking at things.
More hopeful way.
It reminds us that we're not powerless, that we can be agents of change.
Change makers.
Yeah. And that even those small acts of service, they matter.
They really, really do.
So if anyone listening is feeling inspired, wanting to learn more about the Baha'i faith,
Or how to get involved.
reach out to your local Baha'i community or check out the amazing resources online.
There's a whole world waiting to be discovered.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself joining this incredible movement of people all around the world.
Working together to build a better future.
A more just peaceful, sustainable future for everyone.
That's the dream.
That's the goal. Keep diving deep, everyone, and keep making a difference.